international researcher on sound and frequency, and she's going to have a lot of important information to share with us. If you're into ascension and 5 dimensions and all of those good things, you're going to want to join us for Greg Prescott from In 5D on the 26th of January. These podcasts start at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, so a little bit later on in the evening, and we just sort of unwind and talk with Karen McDonald about how to stay strong in difficult times. Last week, we talked about water. We talked about chaga mushroom. This week, we're going to be talking about greens. We're going to be talking about chlorella, spirulina, alfalfa, barley grass, wheatgrass. We're going to talk about all of that on our podcast. So the Frequency of 528 podcast, you can sign up here and join us live. And then we upload it to Rumble. You can go to rumble.com and look up our channel under Genius Biofeedback. Rumble is becoming very, very popular. People are really watching us on Rumble, and they're loving Rumble. And we hope to do some live streams on Rumble eventually as we get to know the platform more. So warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for being part of our wonderful Quantum Biofeedback community, where we talk about all things frequency and light, and even related to health. So on these weekly calls, if you'd like to ask me something related to health, I'd be happy to answer. Since I don't always talk about it, I'm actually a clinically trained naturopathic doctor. I went to a real medical college in Portland, Oregon, where we do clinical rotations, learn to do physical exams, learn to interpret labs. And so I know everything that a doctor knows. I also know about homeopathy, herbal medicine, supplements, and health of the spine and things like that. So if you have something you'd like to ask during our weekly call, just about health in general, I can talk about it and try to relate it to the genius, or you can ask about genius related questions. So this is our Christmas time. So we have Christmas specials going on. So if you know somebody who'd like to get the genius, we do have some awesome Christmas specials. So check those out and please share them far and wide with people. We have a lot of really cool bonuses coming up for Christmas. Get your affiliate commission. So if you're an affiliate, you can get 20% of whatever the person purchases. So share far and wide and be part of our genius community. Share the genius with as many people as you can. Those are going to be good through Christmas. And so we have some special bonuses. Those bonuses could go away at any time. So please make sure you share that you get those bonuses as quickly as possible. There are some tuning forks and some, we actually have these EMF protection cards that have imprinted sacred geometry, and they're imprinted by the manufacturer, but you could actually imprint more if you wanted to. So we have these cards. Let's see if we can get them. They're probably not going to show very, very well in here, but they have some sacred geometry on them. You put them into your wallet, your pocket, carry it with you in your purse. I think we have this on here. And they are scalar wave EMF grounding cards, but they're free with the elite package. So we're trying to get some Christmas gifts, extra little goodies for people if they get the genius. Veronica, thank you for joining us from Norway. Veronica, if you'd like a scan today, please volunteer and I'll do a scan on you. So if you'd like a scan, just put your date of birth into the chat space and I'll be happy to do a scan on you. So all the specials and everything that we're talking about today is actually going to be on our blog. Let me show you where our blog is. Again, our website, because it can be quite confusing, is geniusbiofeedback.com. For those of you maybe who don't all know me for as long as I've been hanging around here, I've been teaching about quantum biofeedback in terms of things created by this developer since 2012. In 2016, the developer came up with the first plans for the genius, and I've been right there all along giving information about medicine, about health, about holistic health, teaching and training about the genius since then. So when you come to our website, geniusbiofeedback.com, we're able to give you all of our experience of the genius, all of our information. So write down this website and record it, bookmark it, so you can come here and get all of we have lots and lots of free resources, as well as some free and paid classes. Now on our blog today, this is where you can always find our topic for today. So today we're going to be talking about some cold and flu process. some immune support, but you can also, we're going to, let's look at the different handouts. We have this immune process guide. You've probably seen this one, so you can download this. This is, you just go to the blog and go to learn menu, then go to the blog, and then you'll find this. Then we also have this cold and flu. This is more based on the cold and flu libraries. So this guide can help you with the cold and flu libraries, and also just to understand what to do when you have cold and flu. We also have this start guide. Now, this start guide is very, very good for anyone who is new or anybody that you want to introduce the Genius to. So it's taking a while to download. It's really a nice PDF of how you go from download to your first session. So we'll get that to a moment. Okay, fantastic, Veronica. We're going to work on you in just momentarily. Okay. It doesn't count if we got the Genius last year for the cards. No, the specials, the bonuses are the time when the special is available. But good, that was a good try though, Angela. I mean, I can't fault you for trying. Good try. But it's all the bonuses that we give you at that time. So whatever we had available, we had extra libraries. We're trying out something different this year. We have some extra goodies that are physical. We try out something different from time to time. Oh my goodness, why is this taking so long to download? All right, we'll just keep talking while we're doing that. Okay, Annette, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of our Genius Biofeedback community. We really, really appreciate you. Yes, you can go to geniusbiofeedback.com and look up the scalar wave card, the EMF card, and you can find that card there on the website. So that is this card that is filled with sacred geometrical frequencies. It's not that's been imprinted with the Genius, it's been imprinted by the manufacturer. So it's really powerful. In fact, I found myself just kind of hanging on to it today as sort of a grounding tool. And you can put that in your pocket near your body, hold it, tape it next to your phone if you want to. Wonderful grounding frequencies within there. Okay, so let's see if that actually managed to, all right, I'm gonna have to talk to our admin staff about why that's not downloading very quickly and try to figure that out. Okay, so what I want to talk to you today, let's go ahead and let's start with our scan. And so Veronica, we're going to call on you in just a moment. I'm going to bring you up as a panelist and we'll do a scan. You guys, there's a lot of sort of brouhaha about the egg aura, and people are like almost obsessed with the egg aura. Like, what does it mean? How do I interpret it? It's kind of puzzling to me in particular because the colors still relate to the same things that the previous aura did. There's no difference. So let's try to find out what your specific questions are about the egg aura. I think it's more just like a fascination. People are just fascinated with the egg itself, with the new shape. It's beautiful colors, but it doesn't really indicate anything that different in terms of the colors are still just related to the chakras. So all that being said, we'll try to do some interpretation just the same today to talk about it. Now, I am using the new version of the Genius. I'm going to be showing the new version. We consider the new version to be in beta. So we consider the new version to be a beta version. If you're using our new version, then you are in the beta group. If you want to revert to our previous version, that is sort of our classic view for stability, for using it day to day. We have you revert to our previous version. So I'm going to show the new version, which is considered to be a beta version. And we'll look at that in just one moment. All right. So Veronica, let's see if we can bring you up as a panelist. Bring you up here. Thank you so much to Charnel for introducing Veronica to our group. She's joining us from Norway. She's a new user. So thank you so much for being a new user in our community. We're super, super excited. Okay, I missed the library class on Friday. Where can I find it in the learning portal? Carolee, just go ahead and log into the learning portal and look for your library discount club module. If you can't find it, then send us a support ticket, support@geniusbiofeedback.com, and we'll be happy to help you. So Veronica, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I love your background, the whole earth in the background there.
Thank you. Instead of seeing my work.
I totally understand. And so, but it's rather late there, isn't it? Perhaps
Yeah,
9 o'clock?
7 o'clock, actually.
7 o'clock. Okay, so not that bad. All right. Yeah, 9 hours. I'm counting like 7 hours. All right. So how are things going with you using the Genius so far?
Very good. I had my my first call, I think it was yesterday or Friday was it?
Okay,
and just went through
Yeah.
so just went through the things that I was a little bit unsure about, or if I had any questions. And I've been using it a lot, just testing it to understand it more on myself, and I've actually been using it on my dog as well.
Well, wonderful. Okay,
Yeah.
with your dog does not necessarily need to bark per se.
No.
You could just take a picture, and I mean, it could be the dog breathing, or just skip the voice, or you could even speak as a surrogate for your dog, but you don't need the dog to bark in order for it to work.
Actually, it's funny because I watched one of your videos and you said that if you have a dog that can bark on command or speak on command, you can do that. And she does it. So the first time I did the scan, I asked her to talk, and she's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
That is perfect. Well, that's a great way to really get how super to be able to get the dog's voice command or voice on command. That's wonderful. Did you discover anything interesting when you looked at the dog's results?
It was very, I took into consideration that me and her are linked. So some of the things that she might be coming up on her scan was similar to mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also there was a lot of things that I was having an intuition about her that was coming up on her scan, and especially about the emotional part. So that was very interesting. Emotional.
Yes, the emotions. Yeah. Dogs have so much of a rich emotional world actually going on. They may be jealous of another dog or another animal in the home, or even a child, and you might see that in their scan. Or sometimes they have tummy stuff that we don't always know about, or some type of a food allergy. So it's absolutely amazing the things that you can discover that your dog or a pet is not able to vocalize. It's very fun to utilize it in that way. Yeah.
And for me, my dog specifically, she's turning 11 soon. And she's been struggling, or have a challenge with, I would say, with easily getting stressed, because she's very empathic. So when I'm working with dogs and she's sensing that I'm getting stressed, she's trying to calm me down. So I know she's carrying a lot of my burden, you can say.
They do, absolutely. And of course, dogs and cats are just absolute emotional sponges. And it's sort of like their selfless service is to like cleanse us constantly and to take on anything that causes us to be frenetic or causes us to be worried. And so how wonderful to clear the dog or the cat with the Genius in order to facilitate the selfless service that they're always providing for us.
Yeah. So that's what I've been focusing on with her, working on the emotional part and the batch flowers and stuff to calm her, like help her calm down, help her kind of like resetting, instead of like putting more on her back, actually like releasing some stuff as well, instead of just carrying everything.
Yeah, that's beautiful to use it for wellness for your dog, just as an energetic tune-up. Well, you're going to have great results with that. And Michelle Small-Wright in the book Behaving as if the God in All Life Matter has said that behaving as if the God in all life mattered, said that that wildlife, that all the wild animals, wolves and different wild animals out in the wilderness are constantly buffering emotions for us as a collective consciousness. So when we're stressed out as sort of a collective consciousness, I can only imagine now that actually those animals kind of take on a lot for us. So they're doing incredible service even in their wild state. Amazingly, unconditionally loving. So we could do a Genius session just for wild animals out in the wilderness, and send energy to them if we ever thought we'd like to do that. What should we focus on for you today?
I've had a little bit of a itchy throat the last few days, but I know it stems from emotional parts, because I've been extremely stressed lately, and that's why my body has been, because I've been burnt out a few times and I've been overworking again, as well as my mind been stressing.
Oh, I totally understand. I completely can relate to that. Well, let's go ahead and record your voice. I'm going to record it here, and then I'll put the reflector up in a moment. So we'll have you say your name and then the AEIOU. So I'll begin recording your voice in 3, 2, 1. I'm recording.
Veronica Iselin Olsen Peterson, AEIOU, AEIOU, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U,
Absolutely
A.
perfect. Perfect, perfect. And so beautiful little print out there and all the little voice formats coming up here. So I'm going to go to next to take it to the next screen here, and then we'll take pictures. So that's perfect.
One thing I wanted to mention about, I go into a chiropractor and because I have an injury in my shoulder that comes and goes. And what I found interesting the first time I did a scan with Dr. Charel was the fact that the spinal energy was very similar to what he found in the session.
That we've heard that a lot over time. Even when I've gone to trade shows and sort of scanned people on the fly, they say to me, oh my goodness, I just had a quick assessment with that chiropractor over there in that booth. And they told me the same thing that you're telling me. So it's been super fun. Go ahead and a quick smile from you, just so I can take your picture there. And that's perfect. We got it. So yeah, so it's really fun to be able to see those things. And it's fun for your clients as well to be able to see that reality reflected for them. You know, some people will come to us and they're just, oh, how could this possibly work? Well, let's show you how it could possibly work. Let's do a scan on you. And the moment that we do a scan on them and they start to see themselves reflected in the results, it's instant. And I think that's so much better than saying, like, let's show you this double-blind placebo-based study. Experiential is so powerful for people. We want people to start to be able to, you know, have critical analysis for what they're seeing and to be able to learn through their own actual experience, you know, what is real for them, what is true. So that's really cool. And so now, does your chiropractor understand this technology or understand what we're doing here?
Yeah, my chiropractor actually is working. I don't remember the special technique he uses, but they are different than other chiropractors. They don't use, they manipulate your spinal, of course, but they don't use the excessive force that a lot of do, that twist your neck and stuff. They don't do that. They're slightly adjusting, and they're using, the way they're doing it, they're using like a heat thing on the back.
I know what you're talking about, to see where the thermo sort of sensing. Do they do network chiropractic?
What's that?
Okay, well, that's obviously not the same, but network chiropractic is similar in that it's just very, very subtle movements and there's no cracking, because the people who do this more of a type of technique you're talking about recognize that, hey, when you're cracking the back, there could be some residual, maybe not positive effects, or it could have some type of a reactive reaction. Instead of really healing the body's just reacting to the cracking, and it's sort of either re-injuring it or just maybe putting it back into place temporarily and not resolving the issue. Is that sort of where your chiropractor is coming from?
Yeah, correct. That's why they always test with the heat to see if there actually is something here, after they've checked the mobility, to see if there's actually something that they need to work on. And they're very subtle when they do it as well. They don't try to, if it doesn't want to move, they're like, okay, we're going to try 2 times, but if still, okay, then I'm going to let it go, like, let it be.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, you have a lot of wisdom, and your chiropractor has a lot of wisdom, and you have a lot of wisdom to go to that type of a chiropractor. So what we're seeing here is a beautiful, very bright green aura. So this is going to be related to the 4th chakra, but it's very bright, has a lot of energy. The energy is very clean. It's a very strong vital force. We have a purple layer beyond that. So on the purple layer, we're seeing more of that 5th chakra, thyroid, authentic energy, really settling into being your truth. There's a little bit of fuzziness on the top, so we don't have completion there. So we want to see some completion. Now there's a little bit of a circle, that gray outer layer, and that could be where maybe a little bit of infection or tiredness or even the emotional stagnation is hanging out. So we're going to look especially for that outer gray layer to begin to move away, to begin to clear. Okay, so with that, I am going to let you sit back and enjoy what we're doing here, and then I'm going to come back to you in just a little bit. Is that okay, Veronica?
Perfect.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for volunteering. I appreciate it. Okay, fantastic. So we got to see a little bit of the aura. We're going to take your questions now. Today, send any questions that you have about the genius, because as I'm going through the scan, we also want to know, what questions do you have about the genius? Even if you're a beginner or you're advanced, what questions would you like me to answer? Now, typically we go through, we have basic process number 1, 2, and 3. Now we've placed the basic processes all over the website. So if you go to the Learn menu or the Learn bar on our website, you can drop down and there's a basics page that teaches you all about the basic processes. So today I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm just going to look at what's going on here and just go through some sort of basic panels that might be interesting. So the first thing, I do like to start with today's stress, no matter what, just so I can get an overview. So let's start with today's stress, which is right here. And there we go, lymphatic and nutritional. So when we see lymphatic, this is going to have to do with our immune system. This could be an active virus or bacteria that's making its way through the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a system of channels all over the body. Our lymphatic capillaries appear everywhere that we have blood capillaries. They appear next to, side by side, and they move this fluid, which is a cleansing fluid. So our cells take in nutrition and they expel metabolic waste. And so these waste products are picked up by the lymphatic channels. And throughout the lymphatic channels, we also are processing and looking at the different substances coming through to see if there's some virus or bacteria that needs to be handled by those lymph nodes, right? So the lymph is able to process and debilitate some of the viruses and bacteria. Now, it's very important for overall health to keep this lymphatic fluid healthy. So drinking lots of water, eating lots of fruits and vegetables, and moving the body. Moving the body is very important because this lymph does not have a pump like the heart. So we must stretch, skin brush, rebound, walk, move the body to move those lymphatics. Keeping the lymphatic fluids clean is one of the most important things to do for overall health, to keep that lymphatic fluid clean and constantly moving the lymphatics so that we can move fluid through them, and that removes stagnation in the lymphatic channels. So this could be an emotional block. She talked about that emotional block, or maybe it's been very cold outside. She hasn't had time to do maybe a long walk, things like that. We do see bacteria, pathogens. So there again, now there could be an emotional root cause to this, right? If your emotions are causing the sympathetic overdrive, they create a condition where these pathogens can be more active. It might lower the immune system. If we go outside without a good hat right here covering this, or a scarf covering the back of the neck, this is where Chinese medicine talks about we can get wind invasion. So this wind invasion creates a condition that sets us up for viruses or bacteria to be more active, for them to be able to take hold. So these are things to be careful of. We see some sensitivities. This could be to anything in the environment. It could be to some type of food. It could be to refined sugar, dairy, that type of thing. Kidneys. Now, if we don't drink enough water, obviously kidneys are going to come up. But also, if we're overly stressed out, kidney and adrenal go hand in hand. So if we're very burning the candle at both ends, staying up too late, one of the best practices you can do is try to get into bed between 9:30 and 10 o'clock at night. It's really, really tough, I know. And try to wind down with less screen time in the last hour. Try to eat your last meal 3 hours before bedtime. Do everything that you can, almost like as if sleeping is an event. And you know how working out is an event, you get ready and you stretch and you're going to prepare and everything. You should almost think of sleep to be an event you're getting ready for in the last part of your day, and you're going to set everything up perfectly, because The power of sleep as a health practice, which sounds hilarious because you really almost don't have to do anything, right? But the power of sleep as a health practice cannot be emphasized enough. It is very, very important. And your best sleeping time is to build as much energy as you can in that 2 hours before midnight. And that 10 to noon allows you to build a lot of momentum to be able to produce enough growth hormone to really heal the cells of the body. People treasure growth hormone so much that they will take it synthetically as an injection at their peril because it can have many deleterious side effects. But you can do it yourself by eating 3 hours, last meal 3 hours before bedtime. As you move into more fasting, you start to get that momentum going to produce that growth hormone. And especially if you're in bed by 10, between 10 and midnight is that sweet spot for producing the most optimal amount of growth hormone. So that can be related to restoring the kidneys. The kidneys could also be a protein diet that is too high. So I really don't want to ever underemphasize that a lower protein plant-based diet is one of your best anti-aging tools. Most people have compromised kidneys in the Western world by the time they're in middle age because they've eaten such a high protein. All the eggs and the steak and the hamburgers and the bacon, they're very high in protein. And our vasculature and our kidneys are hardly able to handle this in such a way that would allow for a long lifespan without the development of some type of damage to these important organs and part of our circulatory system. So emotional, so if we see emotional come up, of course, that is related to some type of emotional issue. Now, the holidays are just classic for bringing up all types of wonderful emotional issues, right? Nostalgia, whatever might be feeling not enough, whatever, feeling like you can't get to see your family, whatever it is, there's just a whole plethora of things that come up during the holidays. So be aware of that. And you may want to run some Bach flower essences for yourself. Now, olive is exhaustion. Mustard is feeling that there's a dark cloud overhead that you're trying to clear. Now, heather is kind of feeling a little bit bad for yourself, but kind of clearing it out, getting out of self-centeredness into other world, greater consciousness. Walnut is going through transitions. Honeysuckle is about nostalgia, which we would expect really around this time of year, right? Thinking of past Christmases, past holidays, things like that. Ghosts of Christmas past, perhaps. Let's go to the custom libraries and look at some of the emotional libraries we have for understanding our physical issues as emotional root cause. So let's go. We have a couple. We have, is it emotional anatomy? Let's see if we can figure this out. All right, well, what a surprise. It looks like our search isn't working. Okay, because I didn't hit begin analysis, so that's on me. Let's go ahead. We'll do we have energy anatomy and emotional anatomy, and I always mix these two up. We'll probably look at both of them. For our person who comes in that already knows, I think this is related to something emotional. We could go right in there and look for some emotional root causes. So let's try this again. Let's go back here. Oh, my keyboard is giving me a hard time. Emotional. Also still, all right, let's try this again. This is now remember, this is like working with the beta. So if we're working with the beta, then this is what we're going to get. And so you guys, if you have a busy practice, don't hesitate to email me, support@geniusbiofeedback.com. We'll get you back on the previous version. Somebody said, I don't really like the previous version as much as I like this version. I understand that. But if you have a practice where you need to see clients, you need to get through, we could even argue this class, right, would be like that. Then just go back to the previous version until we have all the kinks worked out of this one. Now, I was able to overcome this issue by going back all the way to system overview and starting fresh. So starting fresh is another way. Also, deleting and reinstalling resolves a whole world of problems. But I just went back to the beginning. I went to system overview and I was able to overcome this issue. So let's see what we have under emotions. So the one I'm looking for is we have energy anatomy, and we also have this emotional anatomy, I think. Yeah, emotional anatomy, releasing trapped emotions. So let's look at this one. I now release any imbalances in my heart that may be rooted in feelings of grief. I now release any imbalances related to my heart. So there's interesting that the heart thing doubles up, that may be rooted in a tendency to be controlling or territorial. I am now able to connect with my feminine side and be more allowing in my life. Now, I wish we didn't have to go, okay, this is much quicker. He's resolved that issue with Entangled Insights. I really want to note that Entangled Insights is loading much faster, so we don't have to wait and wait and wait. So that's been a fix that's been accomplished. I release any imbalances in my vision that may be related to constant apprehension. So look at the connection between apprehension, right? So looking, right, getting your shoulders tight, I got to see something. So any imbalances in my vision that may be related to constant apprehension, relaxing, taking a breath. I now clear any circumstances forming cellulite, which may be rooted in a tendency to punish myself. I am worthy of being kind to myself and other people treating me with respect. There was just a little that was cut out. Now I think this is loading much faster. That's so much better. Okay, so we're going to take all of those high items and put them down into the tray. Let's go to the blue ones. So this is giving us root cause. Now, it doesn't have to match exactly. It's fine if the client says that doesn't apply to me. We can take what we like and leave the rest. It doesn't all have to apply perfectly, but I can tell you that most times these frequencies will make a profound difference to the person that you're working on. I release the chronic tightness in my hips, knowing that I'm truly ready to move forward. So hip problems, knee problems, often related to not being ready to move forward in life, hesitating, not wanting to move forward in some way. I release the pain and stiffness in my life that is related to resisting the experience of pleasure and joy in my life. So stiffness being related to hard to just really drink in and experience the juiciness and joy of life. I am worthy of pleasure and wonderful experiences. I now release the burdens I'm carrying in my shoulders. So there's sort of a shoulder, neck, shoulder sort of theme there. I release any imbalances in my heart and circulatory system. Another heart piece, which is fascinating. So, oh, did we crash there? Okay, we're okay. I now release any imbalances in my heart and circulatory system that may be rooted in resistance to experience joy in my life. I am open to, so joy, being more joyful is something that came up again and again. I'm open to being more wonderful and expansive. I now choose to release any imbalances in my gallbladder that may be related to experiences that have left a bitter taste in my mouth. I now choose to forgive. So I know this is really a lot. I'm not going to read all of them, right? But we all can relate. Everybody on here can relate to those experiences. And this gives us a pinpoint connection between the symptom and the emotional root cause. I think there's a similar one. What do we have under energy anatomy here? Energy anatomy. Okay, so this is totally different. This is not the same at all. So, because there's we can also look at we can just look at root cause just in general, just for root cause. She didn't really say that there's a lot going on except for the cold coming on. And so root cause, so you can take these as a way to clear out anything that could be on its way to like emerging. Remember that things that come up in quantum biofeedback are things that could come up years before they actually manifest, if they ever manifest at all. That's why quantum biofeedback can be hugely, stop something before it happens. Clear these out of the biofield or anywhere in your field. Who knows if they're from someone else, something you took on, something you're thinking about, maybe in the subconscious. Let's clear it now. That's the whole purpose of quantum biofeedback, to facilitate that process. Now let's bring in something positive. Let's go ahead and go all the way back here, and let's bring in our affirmations. So let's go to our supercharged affirmations. Let's see if we can bring these in. The supercharged affirmations which are, in breakthrough to success right here. Breakthrough to success. I now bring more light into my life than ever before. I break through the stuck patterns and emerge victorious immediately now in this moment. My DNA is completely healed and refreshed and renewed on every level. I am one with the energy of courage, and I now know my true power. So these are wonderful affirmations. Let's bring all of these in, and let's go down to the blue ones. Those are also ones that are resonating for her. As I observe what is true, I experience lightness and laughter. So even when I notice what is actually true, I come to a new awareness. I can even laugh at myself about this silly thing, whatever it is that I've discovered or situation. The best medicine truly is laughter. If you can be in a disagreement with someone and you can find common ground that you can laugh about, it could just dispel the whole disagreement. Anywhere that you can find laughter, you've always kind of struck gold, that you've discovered something true. Everything really, that wonderful saying, angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. Really, everything is just, don't sweat the small stuff. It's all really small stuff, and always find something that you could laugh about or reflect about, which is humorous. Sometimes things are so ridiculous that they are actually could find something funny. And the moment that you find something funny and you can laugh, you've actually healed yourself in some way. You've healed the moment, you've healed the person, people that you're with, because all of this is just a play of consciousness, and we take it so seriously. This is just a play. It's just a movie, and we get so into our roles in the movie that sometimes we forget this is simply a play of consciousness. We could step back, just have a moment of perspective. Every cell in my body is filled with wellness and vitality. I accept financial abundance on every level, conscious and subconscious, and even super conscious. I can hold the energy of joy and stay with it. There's a lot of themes in here about connecting with the energy of joy. Very interesting. I now find the courage. I accept the highest and most vital experience of health. In my body, the cosmic law will allow for me at this time. Brilliant waves of creativity are bringing me million-dollar ideas. I like that one. Okay, so we're going to get all of those in there, and we're going to go over to the progressive insights. And now we're going to see in progressive insights what comes up at the very highest level here. Wow, cell phones. Something about EMF is affecting you today. Acidic pH. Wow, I didn't expect all these things to come up because we haven't seen any of this really so far. We haven't talked about it. Chi stagnation is part of the root cause. Now, that is so interesting because that actually relates back to the lymphatic. So if you're a good practitioner, if you're a clever practitioner, then you will start to notice the connection between the different panels that you test. And you want to be able to gather the things that come through the strongest. And those are the things that are echoed in different panels. And you start to see them echoing, you start to see the confirmation. So something about the energy being stuck, it could be from being adrenally fatigued, it could be from not moving, it could be this emotional block, but chi stagnation, lymphatic stagnation is part of the issue, why she might be having the scratchy throat. I now choose to release any imbalances in my gallbladder. So we saw, it'd be good if we could read this, like if there's enough room to read this, but this is related to like forgiving someone. I now clear any circumstances. See, we have to be able to look at that. I don't think we can tap on it and look at it. So this is something to send to the developer, I think. In progressive insights, we can't read long affirmations. So if somebody can send that to the developer, we cannot read long affirmations. There needs to be more space. We need more room here so that very long libraries can be read, because we do have a number of those, and many people have them. I now release any imbalances that could in my liver that may be related to feelings of rage or anger. I now find the courage kidneys. Brilliant waves of creativity are bringing me million-dollar ideas, the one we just read, right? Okay, so what we do then is we balance this for 1 minute. while it's balancing, let's go ahead and see if there are more questions or comments here. Okay. So I'm very open to receiving the quantum. Okay, so absolutely. And so Veronica, this information is reaching you in subspace remotely through our quantum biofeedback system. Deborah says, is it possible to get too much frequency? Some family members are using their quanta capsule lots and lots. I love that people in your family are using the quanta capsule lots and lots. They probably really need that reinforcement of the frequency. That is the magic of the quanta capsule. You know, the time was when somebody would go to a practitioner, and you go to the practitioner in these quantum biofeedback sessions from the SKIO, the other competitors, those big box systems that take a long time to load up. They take a long time to load up. They take a long time to do the session, and they're very expensive pieces of equipment. So if you went to a quantum biofeedback practitioner for that time with them, you'd pay $300 or $400. Now, I don't think most people are going to be able to do that every week. So you were stuck with that one set of frequencies or combination of frequencies that you could get at that session. And then you just had to sort of go along to get along. But that's not how quantum biofeedback works. Every change in the human body and the human energy field is done better little by little with repetition. For example, exercise, right? If you do yoga one day a month, that really, and you did it for 3 hours of yoga, it's really not as good as doing 15 minutes or even 30 minutes of yoga every single day, right? It's what you do every day. So whether it's running, eating well, and affirmation. So it doesn't really do a lot of good to do one affirmation and then never say it again. Affirmations work in a momentum type of a way. So you say it and you say it and you say it and you say it, and you just really, you become those words. And that's part of the way it works with frequency, the repetition, the repetition, the repetition. You're assimilating all of that healing energy into your field over time. Coming back to the point, the question, which is that family member is probably doing something very, very smart by having the ability with our quantum capsule system to be able to run the frequencies that you have found for them, maybe for the whole week, and they can just run it again and again and again and again and again. All of that being said, it's really hard to overdo things on frequency because people almost have this sort of built-in capacity to be like, you know what, I need a break. I just need to take a break. The best thing you can tell them, hey, if you're running a lot of frequency, make sure you drink enough water. Maybe get a little bit of electrolyte, some type of electrolyte drink or something, and then have at it. Enjoy it, because they're really uplifting themselves to a new place. And then you'll test them again in a week, and then those new frequencies will be reflective of the new energy place that they've moved into. And it's really, really powerful. And then the new frequencies will take them even to a higher level. So good for your family for being so compliant and willing to run the frequencies. Is an activator chiropractic experience similar to this, and is it safe and effective? Are you talking about with the activator, like the actual clicker that chiropractors use? I think that just really varies from chiropractor to chiropractor. So Behaving as if the God in All Life Matter was a life-changing book for Annette. Yes, absolutely. Agreed. Since we got 43% rectification, let's go ahead and do a rescan and see what percolates to the top here. How do I interpret when I pull up the custom libraries as I'm doing a scan for myself, and there's canine parvo in the red? So there's a couple of answers to this, Annette, that we've sort of observed over time. Number one is that if canine parvo comes up for you in red and you are not a dog, you can simply take that information and set it aside. But whatever numerical value is, because a frequency is really a numerical value. So whatever that numerical value of the frequency that is in that red item, it does mean it's resonating for you. So there's something about that frequency that your field has been drawn to. Now, other types of interpretation would be, if you have a dog, then you might be taking on stuff for them that could be showing in your field. They don't have to have active parvo. This could be something that they were exposed to or something they had in the past. So, and maybe your immune system needs a boost. Maybe there are frequencies in that combination for canine parvo that boost your immune system overall. So that's another thought. Now, for most people, what you can do is just simply bypass it. Just go down to the next frequency, ignore it, skip it. There is a way to remove some of these frequencies from your scan, but over time, I've just not really recommended it because the easiest way to utilize the Genius, oh, it's interesting that the sound of that really changed. You guys hear this? It's much slower. Almost has like a haunting type of a quality to it. Very, very different. Let's make sure I have my lab microphone. Let's see if we can hear this a little bit louder. Okay, isn't that interesting? It sounds quite different from what it did the first one, right? Very, very like delicate and very like yin sort of energy. So yeah, so you can decide what you want to do if you want to skip it. Now, there is a way to set up your programs where you don't have the feline and canine. I can show you a way to do that, but it's just very cumbersome. We can show a master branch. So I just have always thought it's better to test everything you have in your libraries at your disposal because you never know what will come up. So I like to use all of them. We can show you how to do it a little bit differently. Interesting, this set of frequencies got a 33% alignment, a 7% alignment, 33% harmony, and 17% energy flow. So there was something about this. The gallbladder, I now choose to release any imbalances in my gallbladder, and then also kidney stones. So you might want to look into that herb called stonebreaker, which is Shanka piedra, because I don't know, gallbladder and kidney stones, these could be buildup of calcifications, and you don't have to have stones to use Shanka piedra. It can be used as like a cleanser way before you ever get any stones. Sort of the part of the aging process is that we kind of turn to stone, we kind of calcify, and there are certain calcification removers that are sort of secrets known in certain herbal corners, and Shanka piedra or stonebreaker is one of those that can break up the calcifications. So house dust, that's interesting that that's coming up. So house dust can carry a lot of toxins on it, a lot of endocrine disruptors, and using an air purifier could be a way to battle that. Blood circulation to the tissue is deficient. That's so interesting. Stagnation, lymphatic stagnation, the lymphatic system, blood circulation deficiency. I think you need some things to build the blood. So different adaptogens, maybe some reishi, some Siberian ginseng, or whatever, maybe Ayurvedic herbs, ashwagandha, whatever sort of is your kind of preferred line of herbs that can help to build up your reserves. So it looks like you're very, very hard worker. You spend a lot of time working very hard, and there might be just a little bit of deficiency because of that. I released the pain and stiffness. See, it's unfortunate that we can't see the rest of this, but we did read these before. This is about resistance and not going with the flow. And so it's causing pain and stiffness. Auditory tube inflammation, kind of interesting. You may not even be aware of that. I am completely ready to succeed. Blood sugar imbalance due to insulin resistance. So that would be very, I'd say it's like unlikely just talking to you, but it may be sort of transitory. There are records of people who are very young, who are very slim, who still are building up blood sugar imbalances because of something called intramyocellular fat, basically fat within the cell. So if you're eating sort of a meat-based diet, be careful of this. This is something that we have studied and we talked about in the practitioner courses, that the plant-based diet is lower in fat and tends to build up less of this intramyocellular fat, which later down the line can cause changes in insulin sensitivity. All right, so I accept the highest and most vital experience in my body that cosmic law will allow for me at this time. You know, that thing cosmic law will allow for me at this time, I don't know if I totally buy into that, but there must be cosmic law. It's something that comes out of Patricia Cota Robles. And if you want to look her up online, she's a wonderful rendition of the Violet Flame in Saint Germain. It's something we really don't talk about enough, but if you'd like to be sort of lit up and, blast off into a nice sort of high vibrational, super aura cleansing experience, then run your genius while you're listening to Patricia Cota Robles talk about the dialogue she gives to invoking the sacred violet flame of Saint Germain, or anybody else who does that. Talk about just even thinking about Saint Germain and asking for the invocation of the protection, the light, the cleansing of the violet flame. Really powerful. So if you're not feeling good or you're feeling like foggy, tired, just saying or listening to that, very, very powerful for feeling that energy, that cleansing energy that cleanses your whole field and aura, the sacred energy of the violet flame. All right, so we've got that. Let's try one more minute on this because they went very, very slowly. Be sure to drink some water, Veronica. Is EDTA something to use for kidney stones or something we should consider using in our genius? Okay, let's answer this question in just a moment. There was another question here about Patricia. Patricia is Patricia Cota Robles. And she has another nice, really, really cool sort of a dialogue about ascension, about Mother Mary's Rosary, taking Mother Mary's Rosary in a very interesting vibrational direction. Beautiful, beautiful dialogue that she has. If you just listen to it, meditate, do other things, or run your genius at the same time, or her one about Saint Germain and the violet flame, you'll have to let me know how you like it. So Saint Germain, many of you know about Saint Germain and the violet flame. Violet flame. Okay. So there's a good question here. EDTA. So EDTA, let's do another rescan here. EDTA is a chelator. EDTA can chelate things like heavy metals. And they're thinking about, for anybody who had this little jab and had some things maybe that they didn't like, weren't supposed to be there. They're talking a lot about the use of EDTA for this purpose, or chelators or metal chelators. I don't know of their efficacy. When you're talking about an injected EDTA, we always have to be careful. I've never been a huge fan of chelation. Now, I'm a naturopath. A lot of my colleagues use chelation, and they may use it to wonderful results, I'm sure. I've always been concerned about anything injectable, just due to its inherently invasive nature. But EDTA does chelate lead and other heavy metals in a powerful way. I would only recommend using it with the supervision or under the auspices of a naturopath or somebody who's certified in this use of EDTA, even if it's just they also have EDTA suppositories. But any use of any type of chelator, I'd be extremely careful. I think EDTA is sort of a very sort of yang chelator, and there may be more gentle chelators like chlorella, cilantro, good diet, just eating a good diet of a lot of fiber, doing some colon cleansing, whether it be by enema or, colonic or whatever it might be, or even just getting on a really good diet with a really good amount of fiber, like that begins to really cleanse the body. And the body, as the body loses weight, infrared saunas is another good way to get the temperature of the body up. You can start to mobilize some of these toxins. I just, over time, I've done this for a long time. I graduated from naturopathic school in 2002. I've studied a lot, I've sort of seen a lot. And I'm just, especially if you think about my involvement with the genius, I've always come back to less is more. Subtle approach, gentle approach is better than hitting something over the head. Now, we sometimes need to hit things over the head or go in strong when somebody is in very acute distress, or it's something very advanced or chronic. So everything has a place, everything has a usefulness. So it would just be what would be the EDTA for, but I would still opt in for somebody who really knows what they're doing, some particular professional. Whether you can get an EDTA effect from the genius, you certainly can dial it in from a archetype encoding, and we've seen miraculous things from archetype encoding. I think we have EDTA somewhere, maybe in heavy metal solutions. it's meant to be a subtle energy that mimics the real world effect of EDTA, but we really wouldn't say it's an exact substitute. And I don't think anybody here would use it as an exact substitute. Okay, so sound not coming through at all. Is the sound not coming through? Okay. So each EDTA suppository is 10%, very slow, and has been safe so far. Again, so Dale, that's good information. I definitely appreciate the input, but I still, just to the general public, you know, you need to know what you're doing. Chelators are powerful. So whether somebody wants to say it's only 10%, I feel like it's safe, that's your decision. I'm certainly not going to make that decision for you. And especially for somebody who's not well-versed in health or holistic health therapeutics, you really want to see an expert. EDTA is added to canned beans. I thought it was to be avoided in canned products. What are your thoughts? I don't know. I'd have to have more information. So you send me that can label and I'll look into it. I'm familiar more with like BPA being in the can liners and things like that. So I don't have any ability to answer that, but keep your questions coming. They're always good questions. Let's go ahead now and let's look in the change in the aura. And then we're going to bring Veronica back on and hear how this information has landed with her. So let's just go ahead and see this, what we've got here. Okay, Veronica, let's bring you back on, see how the information has been landing with you, what we've discovered so far. Did you have any thoughts or ideas? Wow, you're much lighter and brighter. Well, you even look lighter and brighter. How are you doing?
It's very like quantum frequencies. I'm just so fascinated about it. Because I'm very open to receive. Like I talked to my trainer and I told her that I've had like around 70% of all of them at once, because I'm very open to receive whatever I'm discovering, and when I'm scanning myself and all of those things. And most of the times around 99%, 99% of it resonates very, very much with how I'm feeling, how I'm thinking.
That's really awesome. That's wonderful. And it's a wonderful result that we're seeing here in your aura. And you even feel lighter and brighter as we're talking to you. So let's go to number 1 and then number 2. That whole outer piece, the fogginess, the stagnation has completely cleared. It's almost like when there's clouds in the sky and you come out and all you see is sunshine and not a cloud in the sky. This is a wonderful result and just an absolutely beautiful, very bright vitality. Yellow coming through. There was a lot of like sort of liver stuff that was being cleared. And now we see that bright yellow, healthy color that represents the solar chakra and also represents the liver and some of the other organs in that area. So absolutely wonderful. You are very receptive to these frequencies. So it's wonderful to see this. So great job, Veronica.
And I find this very interesting because I've done acupuncture, and what was showing up there a lot was the liver and heart. And I'm struggling with very poor blood circulation. I'm so cold all the time, even during the summer when it's 30 Celsius. I'll be going sometimes inside. It's so cold. And it's like because of my blood circulation. So that's also confirming it with this scan and other scans that my circulation could be better.
Yeah. Do you ever get, now I know this is just a common question that everybody says, well, I'm going to be doing it, or I'm going to do it, or I'm going to do more of it. So it's all good. But do you do any yoga?
No, I used to do.
And any of the postures of yoga that you can start to incorporate, even if it's just sun salutation, they're just really powerful since you stretch and then compress the area and then release. It does incredible results for circulation overall. Even just a few minutes of yoga a day, if you're able to get that in, could be really a game changer for that.
Interesting. I can do two things in one time. I can do meditation and yoga.
Yeah. Well, yoga, you could split your time. You could do some like sitting meditation, some, because yoga is actually like a moving meditation. And so there's still a lot that you're working out sort of in your psyche when you're doing those postures. It's really good, actually. EDTR, or rapid eye movement, is moving the eyes from left to right. You're trying to get the brain to mobilize, and you're trying to get the left and right side of the brain to communicate with each other over some tissue called the corpus callosum. When you're doing yoga postures, you're inevitably bending from left to right, right over left. And so you are causing a lot of processing. There's a lot that you're sort of moving through and getting through, even from the day. Every day we build up a residue psychologically and emotionally. Some of it is worked out in our sleep. Much of it can be worked out through meditation, but you can work a lot of that sort of junkus, a lot of that out through yoga too. And even emotional release can come through the movement of the body postures.
Yeah.
All right. You are awesome. And I'm so excited to see what you continue to discover in your practice. So please keep me posted on what you're seeing and discovering as you test yourself and others more.
Thank you. And I'm considering opening up, doing it with the dogs, because I'm a dog groomer, and I've been considering transitioning into a less dog grooming, but then more conscious work, I would call it. Just
do it. When people come in for the dog grooming, just say, would you mind if I ran some quantum biofeedback or some energy similar to Reiki on the dogs as I groom them? And then when they leave, just give them a little piece of information like, this is the flower essence that came up for your dog, and put on a piece of paper and see what people start to react. How do they respond? And that will give you the momentum to move forward and really do it as a profession.
Yeah. Funny thing, I actually have, I tested it out on one of my clients, a dog, a little Maltese. And he's had, I recommended her going to a chiropractor and stuff like that to check him, because he's very tense and he can be flinching. Like, he can give no signals and then he can try bite me. And I was running this frequencies and stuff, and I was working with him, and he was so much more calmer.
Yes, that happens very often. We hear dogs are so receptive to the frequencies. So you could do great work. And there's so few Western, really good holistic approaches. Like, I don't know how it is there, but here in the States, so many of the veterinarians are really like allopathic doctors for animals. And that's not what animals need. Animals are so receptive to homeopathy and subtle approaches. Sometimes they just need just a little adjustment somewhere energetically, and they're fine.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I want to see how this proceeds for you. This could be big bucks for you.
Yeah. Especially because I haven't seen anything else like this in Norway. I mentioned to you that I've seen someone use the program NES.
Yes.
NES, yeah. And that's how I was like, oh, so that's how I can describe how this works in Norwegian. But otherwise, it's very new here. So it's good to be early on with it.
Yeah, you're a pioneer. You're ahead of your time, and this is easy. If you had to go out to people's homes to work on their dogs, you're just slipping your iPad into your purse and you're off and running.
Yeah.
The Nest is going to be like, I got to take out the computer. I got to log in. It's going to take me forever to do this session. You're fast, quick, done.
Yeah.
And you can take a remedy plate. If you get one of our remedy plate imprinters, you could take that. And then you could take their dog collar, and there could be like a gemstone on the dog collar, or you could create your own dog collars or something where you can imprint those frequencies into something that the dog will wear after the session.
Interesting. Yes. Like crystals?
It could be crystals. It could be any time, like semi-precious gemstone, obsidian, rose quartz, amethyst, anything like that.
Cool.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Veronica. It was really fun hanging out with you.
You too. And I've been listening to you on videos all day. So that was what I was going to say about the cell phone. I'm like, oh, guilty, because I learn very quickly when I'm listening to stuff when I'm working, even though like there's videos here and I have to watch, but I soak up, like I listen to audiobooks all the time. So I've been watching a lot of your videos on YouTube, and also like today I was watching the animal video. And I listen to while I'm working, so I have my phone on me when I'm working all day. So cell phone disturbs, like my phone is on me constantly.
Well, just from time to time, whenever.
Not when I'm sleeping, though.
Not when you're sleeping. That's when it's most important. That's the best to make sure the phone is off or away from you is when you're sleeping. That's the most important one.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for being part of our class today. And let's see if there are any final questions. If have somebody who's interested in the Genius, it's a great time for you to send people to geniusbiofeedback.com, have them check out our Christmas specials, lots of bonuses, lots of goodies there. They're only going to be good until the end of Christmas Day. So we're going to still have our specials, but we have some special Christmas gift under the tree bonuses that people can get. So just for a limited amount of time, just check out those holiday specials. Make sure to send them to somebody who's like, I don't know if I should get the Genius now. Get it now. You get some amazing like stocking stuffers, things under the tree, as well as our wonderful packages that we have. And it's important that people get, a little bit of a gift at Christmas, and that's nice. And they get, great deals and everything. But what's really important is after they get their package. So after people get their package at geniusbiofeedback.com, we set them up with a trainer. We make sure they have all their libraries, as all of you know. Make sure you have everything that you need. You know how to learn it, go into your learning portal. And then we're here after that. We're just an email away, support@geniusbiofeedback.com. We typically answer things the same day. So when you come and get your Genius here, you're getting support really for life moving forward in what you're doing. You're always able to stay in touch with us, come to the weekly class, send us a message, join our business membership, get help with your practice. So I really appreciate each and every one of you. It's going to be Christmas before we have another class. So I want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas and all good things getting set up and getting prepared. And so next time we meet, we're going to start thinking about using the Genius to get prepared for the new year. How to use frequencies to set up the most success, abundance, and happiness for your new year. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. So don't miss the training for next week, the same time. We'll see you then live. Until then, Merry Christmas, everyone. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye for now.